Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Got another review for you guys. This time I'm going to be reviewing Red Koi, issue number 3. This is part of a new storyline. You may have... This is from Alterna Comics. Before we get into it, I just want to mention, if you guys are new to the channel, if this is your first time here, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Love having you here. We're closing in on 400 subs. I can't wait till we get there. That's going to be like one of the coolest things to hit that huge landmark like that. So definitely thank you for being here. Also, if you have a chance, check out indiecomics.underground.com. That is my indie comics focused website. That is all that website is about, is indie comics, brother. It does interviews, reviews, all these videos. These video reviews get posted on there as well. We've got interviews with creators left and right about new books. It's awesome stuff. Definitely want to check it out. It'll help you find, discover, figure out which indie comics that are coming out are right for you. So you definitely want to be there. I really, really want you to come visit indiecomics.underground.com. All right, so let's get into this. This is Red Koi, issue number 3. Now, this is from Alterna Comics, and what you may notice is if you followed Alterna Comics for any length of time, or even just a little bit here or there, you may have noticed that they've changed. They used to only do limited series, so it would be, you know, the original Red Koi was a 2-issue series. That was it. It was 2 issues and then it was done. They've decided to make it an ongoing now, so they've continued the numbering. So this is why this is number 3. Issues 1 and 2, if you missed out on them, are available as a combined Alterna Comics Giants. So it's both issues 1 and 2 put together into one volume for you to read. Still cheap, just like these are only $1.99 each for these floppies, while other comics companies are now raising their prices to like $6 an issue, which is insane. Alterna manages to still put out amazing comics for $1.99. Anyway, let's get into this. So in the first 2 issues of Red Koi, we see our main character. She is a samurai. She is returning home to her family home, and some wacky stuff happens. I don't want to spoil it if you do decide to go back and read it. That's the nice thing about Alterna Comics, is they are so inexpensive that it's really easy to just go back and buy the back issues and just read them all, because there's no sense in missing out, because it's not a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, at the end of that, she basically abandons her family and goes on her own. And then this is where this book is picking up from. It's picking up from, she has forsaken her family name and her castle and all of that stuff. She doesn't want to be a part of this bloody legacy that her family had. So she's left and she's gone on her own, and this is where we picked up. This cover, by the way, is so sweet. Like, this is such an old school, like, just pure action hero coming right at you. You got the teeth here. You're like, what is that? That's awesome. Like, just good stuff. So anyway, this is by Tyler Wentland. He does the story and the art. He's the writer and the artist. The colors are by Nick Welch. And Wes Loker does the letters, as he does on so many books. Anyway, we start off, she's basically just wandering at this point. And it's funny, because if you notice, if you do go back and read the first 2, and then you jump into this one, you'll notice right off the bat, there's a difference in the tone and in the coloring of the book. She looks much more free. Like, it just instantly gives you this feeling. If you were to read them in order and you read 1 and 2, they're very dark. And then if you read 3, you see it starts off, it's like, oh, there's colors in the world. There's greens, and she's in this lush forest environment and stuff. And, you know, you've got the bird. And so she's talking about how she's wandering alone and she's masterless, and, you know, she doesn't have to worry about, you know, the plan that there's always been for her life. There's always been the plan of, you know, fencing, training, flower arranging, meditation, horsemanship, archery, everything. Like, everything is been like planned for her. And now she doesn't have one. There's no task, there's no plan, there's nothing to do. There's no strategy, there's nothing. There's just, like she says, there is only now. You know, so she's wandering around and she's doing her thing, and then she's sleeping on this giant, like statue thing, and this guy shows up, and he's just kind of like, she's snoring and she's drooling, and he's like, it's bad karma to sleep on a goddess, you know. And he's like, so is traveling this terrain with that much kit, because he's got all this armor on and stuff. And so they have this little conversation. He explains who he is. He's from this other kingdom. He works for this for Her Majesty, and he's traveling the forest. And the reason he's he's in the forest right now is because he's hunting. And she's like, well, are they always traveling so heavily armed? And he says he's hunting a wolf. She's taken children from the local villages. You know, it's a very dangerous hunt. She's lucky he found her. And so, they just kind of like strike up this conversation, and she's in this weird place in her life where she's just like, all right, I'll follow this guy. I don't know. I got nothing else to do. So she decides to follow him. You look at this page. This is like a painting right here. Like, this is beautiful. Like, the colors really, really like make this feel otherworldly. It's this cool, like, I don't know if it's a watercolor effect or what it is. Like, the coloring really adds to the artwork. It's got, the artwork, the character designs have a bit of a cartoonish, very stylized look to them. And then you add this background. It just really looks cool. Like, I could imagine seeing this as an animated film, honestly. And so he leads her to this place, and she's kind of like, what is this? What is this place? And he's like, it's a proving ground. And I don't really want to spoil what happens, because obviously it's a comic book, so something has to happen. Something happens, and then there's some action, and you get this great fight scene later in the book. And you get to understand who he is, and more about his kingdom, and more about what the deal is with them. And you get to learn more about the overall world. In the first two books, it was very focused on Red Koi and her family and their family home. And yes, it talked about the wars that they fought and the conquering that they did and the enemies that they made. But that's just it. It only talked about them. In this, we actually see so much more of the world in even just this one issue than we did in the first two issues, where it was focused all around her family home. So we get to learn more about this world. You can see, like, I feel like Tyler is absolutely like enjoying expanding out this world beyond what he originally had planned for the first two books. And you can tell, like, he's really got something big planned, and this is something special to him. And so you just get this feeling like, oh, there's going to be a lot here, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I've heard Peter Simeti, who's the publisher of Alterna Comics, say how excited he is that this book is being published by Alterna, because he knows obviously what's coming in the future, because he's the publisher, he has to know. And he's talking about how excited he is for the rest, for what else is to come. So it's definitely good stuff. And it's definitely, this issue itself tells a really cool story. Tyler had another book called The Swan King, and that was another really good book. He has this sort of almost fairy tale style to his storytelling, which I really enjoy. The first book was definitely tinged with more darkness and a little horror elements and stuff. The first two, I should say. And this one gets more into that sort of Swan King fairy tale-ness, which is really cool. I really appreciate that. I really like it. It's got this just otherworldly feel to it, and I feel like the coloring and the art and everything helps to add to that. So do yourself a favor. I definitely would recommend checking it out. And if you can, go back and get issues 1 and 2, or if you can't get the issues, get The Giant. The Giant just came out, so it should be easily available right now. I'll put the link down below to the Alterna Comics website. They have the store on there, so you can just buy the issues right from them, get them shipped to your house. It's great. Or you could ask your local comic shop if they have them. You just never know. Obviously walking into a comic shop and asking for a small publisher like Alterna's books is kind of hit or miss, but I definitely would recommend giving it a read. I wholeheartedly recommend this one. And I do feel like if for some reason you can't get a hold of issue 1 and 2, and you can't get a hold of the giant that contains 1 and 2, you can just start with this one. It's simple enough to just pick up and start here. It's a clean enough start, which I do appreciate. It's nice, but knowing the background is also really nice too. So like I said, I definitely would recommend it. Definitely check it out. The link will be in the description below so you can find it for yourself. And don't forget to check out IndieComicsUnderground.com. That's my website with all the indie comics goodness. And don't forget, every Tuesday right here on this very channel, you can check out The Best Ever. That is my fun panel show. Get together with a group of friends, and we talk about different topics from pop culture, having a good time. Not like news topics, like evergreen topics, like the Ninja Turtles as a whole, or talking about the original Star Wars trilogy, or, you know, screwball comedies, or whatever it might be. Like, that's what we talk about, and you could definitely have a good time. You can go back and watch all the episodes because they are timeless. They're not tied to any one particular moment. So that's good. There's something you can always go back and watch. There's a whole playlist of them on the website. You can get caught up if you haven't checked them out yet. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you again. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for being a subscriber. I really am grateful to all you guys. You've helped make this happen. You can follow me on Twitter at jam_creates. You can follow me on Instagram at jam_creates. You can also follow me on TikTok. Yeah, I'm on TikTok. TikTok is all about art. It's the only thing I post on there is my artwork, and that's jam_creates. Big surprise there. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later, and peace out.